What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, one of my all-time favorite albums from one of my all-time favorite artists, featuring my all-time favorite color, orange, King T, the Triflin album. Yes, Amir. So we are here today on The Great Debaters, and it's glad to be here, or I'm glad to be here. I know Amir is as well. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Right next to that is the join button to join our memberships here on Unique Access Entertainment. Please do both if you haven't already. Both of those help us tremendously, help us keep growing and developing and getting into the next level of the game. So yes, please subscribe, join Unique Access. That really helps the cause, and we appreciate it tremendously, of course. Now today, man, first of all, King T, the Triflin album, orange is my favorite color. Has been since I was a young youth, as the Wu would say. But when I saw this album cover when I was a kid, first of all, I fell in love with the cover, and then I fell in love with the car. I fell in love with the orange and the aesthetic. So this album always means something special to me every time I think about it, see it, and listen to it because of the orange. So thank you very much, King T, for adding that extra layer and dimension of my fandom of this project. So, Amir, King T, phenomenal artist, third album, 1993. Amazing stuff going on with him at the time. What's your recollection of first getting exposed to the Triflin album?
Yeah, I started listening to this. It was all in succession, so start off with Act Full, At Your Own Risk, and then this album. So big shout out to Glenn Friedman, who shot these covers. I thought he just did such a good job with the cars and just like you said, the aesthetic and just like King T in general. So that's awesome. But yeah, this album I think is my favorite King T album. I think it's
definitely
really,
my favorite.
It's really good.
Even though the cover I'm partial to, just the whole thing is phenomenal.
Yeah, man, it's a special one. So to get into one of my picks off the bat, we're gonna go with Got It Bad, y'all. And I would be shocked if someone didn't have this in their top 3 from the album. I think it's so good. I think it's everything you want in like a hip-hop song in general. I mean, you have just great rappers on it. You have an awesome beat. The beat is just so good by the Licks and DJ Pooh. And man, that's just awesome right there. Then we get to the rhymes, and J-Ro is kicking off the verse and kicking off the song. And J-Ro's verse is pretty long. And he is like, dude, when you listen to this guy and the similes in this song and just what the hell he's saying, I'm just like, oh my god, everything he's saying is just so catchy and so good. He's just got flavor all over the song. And then one of the funny songs where he says, "Tell my white people I like to say howdy." I thought that was freaking hilarious. Like, I don't know what the lingo was in the early 90s, but I'll tell you, none of my white friends say howdy, so that is so hilarious.
Nor did I.
Soren, yeah, did you
Nor
say
did
howdy?
I.
I'm just like, this is freaking hilarious. And then just, I mean, you can pretty much quote the whole song. It's just so catchy. I think not only is what he's saying catchy and the way he's rapping it awesome, I think his voice as well is just dope for the beat. The beat is freaking awesome. I think the way that the chorus comes in, you think it's still his verse, but it's the chorus of the song, and it's like it just flows so effortlessly. It's so great. Then we get E Swift on the song, who was like, God, man, this song's already great. E Swift drops another long verse, stupid banger. He also drops the chorus. So when he raps the chorus, I'm like, oh, so this is the chorus. I thought when I first heard the song, I was like, I thought this was just like how J-Ro was finishing his verse. Then E Swift says the same thing. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is a freaking chorus. And then I'm like, when's King T getting on this song? Because there's like 40 seconds left by the time King T gets on. I'm like, damn, like he's anchoring the song with the shortest verse. And then King T comes in and kills it. And then he does really well. And then I love the ending of the song where he's like, I'm an alcoholic and I'm late for my meeting. I'm like, dude, this is the perfect line for King T to ever rap. And what a way to drop it on this song, one of the best songs in his career up to this point, for sure. I'm just like, damn, he was saving this line. Yeah. You know, that's a great line. And boom. I mean, of course you need the alcoholics on the song where you're going to drop that line. King T introducing us to the Alcoholics. Dude, it's a great collaborative effort. The beat is awesome, the chorus is awesome, the verses are great. I'd be shocked if this wasn't in Soren's top 3.
Well, you are not shocked. It is in one of my top 3 picks, man. Got a bad jaw. And it's just, the energy of the song is phenomenal. But I love it, too, with the scratch. Because it was like just a unusual scratch as opposed to DJ Pooh or E Swift, who had been working with King T, obviously, since the beginning of his career. Pooh especially. Just that to have a different type of scratch on the song, I just thought was awesome and unusual at the same time. And then just for me getting the exposure to the Alcoholics for the first time on this project, even though E Swift had been on At Your Own Risk, it was really amazing to just hear this energy and this liveliness and this excitement. I was like, man, this is going to be the new crew. It's just going to be phenomenal. And of course, the Alcoholics have come out and delivered a lot of great music themselves, both individually and collectively as the licks themselves. But this song just makes me smile, and it gets me so hype and so happy hearing it. And the video was crazy. It just, everything about this song I've always loved. And I really was glad to hear the evolution and the continuing of DJ Pooh and King T's relationship musically and see how that was growing too. And amazing. Got a Bad Jaws, my first pick. Amir, what's your second pick on the Triflin album?
Second pick is going to be, for anyone who's watching this channel, Ice Cube is my favorite rapper. So I had to pick one of those songs, and that would be King T's Beer Stand, which I think is even better than the much longer Ho Before the Homie. But King T's Beer Stand, man, there was an era where people were on those St. Ides commercials.
Yeah.
And there was, they dropped that St. Ides tape as well, the compilation, they had the commercials, they had all that stuff, and here King T's Beer Stand was very fitting for the time. And I think that's very important for a lot of, younger generation fans. They may not have heard these songs or these skits and seen these videos and things like that. This was very big at the time, and then even years later, we saw Sprite and other beverages do their thing. But I thought the St. Ides era was just remarkable for the music that was put out. I don't know about the beer, but the music itself was just awesome. So to hear King T, first off, the beat is awesome by DJ Pooh. I love whenever I hear that instrumental, that sample, that loop. Love it.
Shout out to Rampage.
Yes.
EPMD and LL Cool J.
Well, of course, Soren was going to shout that out for sure. So we hear that, and then
because it's a great song, man. That's why
it is, and LL rips it. But
yes,
we're gonna
the ruler, the master, the overlordian. Continue.
Yeah, we need to break that song down. Anyways, King T, he's rapping. He comes in, he says, I think he says something I got somebody that might convince you. And then you hear Ice Cube come in. And I remember at the time when I was listening to this album, I purposely, I try not to look at the track list because I try not to spoil any potential surprises. So I don't even know if it's on the back of this. But anyways, yeah, it's not on the back of this track list. I don't know but if the CD, but on the tape, it does not say Ice Cube is on King T's Beer Stand. So when I first heard this, I was like, what the hell? This is Ice Cube. And then I just thought Ice Cube was just coming in, just doing an excellent job on the rhymes. I just thought it was super catchy. I loved the way he was rapping, kind of with a thump in his chest. And then at the end, you hear the singing about St. Ides, and I just thought this was just a cool little intermission song, super banger, quick to just put on and just get you excited for a little bit, just because Cube and King T, and we had heard them slaughter along with Breeze on Play Like a Piano on the album before. So I was like, damn, I hope I get another song with Cube because this was so short, and we did with the Ho Before the Homie. But man, of those two songs, I for sure picked King T's Beer Stand. This is my second favorite track off of the album.
King T's Beer Stand's not one of my top 3 picks, even though it's one of the songs I think is one of the best songs. I'm going with On the Rocks. because similarly, it's a alcohol-related song, but just as LL had done on Bigger and Deffer with My Rhyme Ain't Done, it's just interesting. I always thought it was cool, and Schoolie D did it as well. But when they take like fairy tales or characters, or use in King T does with Johnny Walker, making them actual characters in a story, I just always thought was awesome. Ice Cube, of course, Gangster's Fairy Tale, just all these different ways that it had been done before on the Rocks. And then I just thought this was another great continuation of him doing it, very imaginative, and of course with the alcohol names that he used as the characters and as the names and the references, I just thought it was super clever. And as someone who's never drank, it was also cool because I didn't know the first time I listened to it, I didn't catch all the references, of course, because I didn't know all the alcohol and all the liquors and all the different things that were going on in the song. So as I listened to it a few times and I started catching more and more and learning more, I was like, man, this is so clever and so ingenious how he did it. And I also like too, as with Got a Bad Y'all, at the last line where he's like, on the beach on the rocks, and I was like, wait, the song's over? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I was disappointed. I thought it was just going to keep going, but that's what makes it so good. You know, when you want more from a movie or more from a song, that to me is a great thing because it just shows how much you like it. And On the Rocks was it's just an amazing song and very clever, I thought, and showed King T's brilliance as we see throughout the Triflin album. But that's my second pick. Amir, what's your third pick on the Triflin album?
Yeah, On the Rocks is a good one, and just like what you were talking about, it reminds me a little bit as well of Spice One's 187 Proof as well. Man, just some really good songs relating, putting alcohol into stories, or like we'll even hear weed in stories and just other things, movies and stories, etc. that rappers will do over the years. So that's awesome. Last pick. This is pretty tough. A lot of good songs, but I'm gonna go with Black Together again. And I really, really, really enjoy the song. King T produced it, which was a little surprising because I also think it's one of my more favorite beats on the album as well. But King T, man, he gets it in. So really, really, really good song. Another track kind of revolving around police and King T's experiences with the police, as well as kind of what he's seen throughout his life. And then also just certain things about, from a societal perspective, how he doesn't want to work at like McDonald's flipping burgers for $4, or he's barely making money, but then these people, or the people that he's talking about, are able to afford a smorgasbord of food and a feast and all that stuff. So he's talking about all that, as well as being discriminated against, and then saying like we should all be black together again, all the kings and men, etc. So I thought that was cool. I really like the instrumentals I kind of discussed on this track. And then also what's interesting is it also there was a cassette single for this, which I actually don't have, otherwise I'd show, but this does have a cassette single, so that they promoted this as well for a single was also interesting for me. I thought that was intriguing. And also, one thing that I thought was intriguing about this song was that this is one of the only songs that I really remember where there's a line about Donald Trump where it's not like praising him in a sense. He's talking about this is a place where Donald Trump will get his ass jumped. Whereas I feel like most lines with Donald Trump in rap history, it's usually like, oh, I'm the next black Trump, or I want to stack my paper like Trump, or I'm an entrepreneur like Trump, or it's always things like praising his wealth or the things that he had done in his life at those times. Even Method Man had a skill with Donald Trump in 99 or 98, whenever that album came out, to Cal 2000. So this was the only song where it was like, damn, like Donald Trump can't even come here, they get jumped. So it's very interesting, like when you hear all these references throughout the years, and this is the only one that stuck out that was more in like that more negative light or dark light. So very, very interesting. The song itself is awesome. I need to find that cassette single. But anyways, that's my last pick from this album.
Black Together again is my pick as well.
Wow.
The thing King T, I think, is one of the most underrated artists in rap history, and I've gotten the fortune to know him and spend a lot of time with him over the years. And I think this is the type of song that he does extremely well. Of course, Colorblind, his contribution to that on Ice Cube's Death Certificate, just show like King T is so versatile. Like, he can do so many different things and do them all at the highest level. And that's one of the many things I've appreciated about his artistry over the years, is that he can hit you with all these different styles and different drunk techniques, but then get into political stuff and do it at an extremely high level. And that's something that just blew me away when I was hearing this, because it was somewhat of an unexpected song. Like Amir said, he produced it. I thought the beat was powerful. Bust That Ass he produced too. Very different lyrically and thematically, but just the fact that he was stepping in more, doing a more on his own, I guess you would say, as a producer, because he had been doing it for a while, but just getting that stamp on his own I thought was awesome. But just politically, that King T wasn't known as a super political rapper, but had this side to him and really illustrated it well and highlighted, the things that we've been hearing from a lot of the other great rap artists. And he just delivered another great installment of it, and I thought it was very powerful, and also just showed that as terrible as police brutality is, it didn't always affect just the people you thought about. And when we think about it in rap, we often think about the gangster rappers, but someone like King T, you don't necessarily by default think about it. You think of the NWA with Fuck the Police, or you think about One Time Gapping Them Up by Compton's Most Wanted, but Black Together Again is not a song I think most people are like, oh yeah, of course King T, he also talked about police brutality. But to me, that's what makes the song special beyond the fact of how great it is that it's another one of these songs where it's like, here we go again, and this is affecting the community in so many ways, and it sadly, of course, still reverberates today. So, I thought it was brilliant, as the rest of the Triflin album is, and it also has, like a lot of King T work, bagging on moms, taking it all the way back, to the Act the Fool. It's just, he has this comedy, he's got the seriousness, he's got the brag and do show, he's got the women's songs. So it's just a masterful collection here on the Triflin album, and that's why I think it's one of the best rap albums ever made. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the best, and in my opinion, it's the best King T album. So anyway, those are my 3 picks. You guys got Amir's 3 picks. As always, hit that subscribe button. Join us as a member here on Unique Access. We appreciate your guys' support in every and any way. Thank you for all of that. Let us know what your picks are on the Triflin album and what you think about what Amir and I had to say today. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
King T, y'all. And shout out DJ Pooh, Broadway, the Alcoholics, Muffler, everybody that helped, Bobcat, that helped make this album so phenomenal. Forever appreciate it. And thanks for this amazing addition to rap. Triflin album, King T.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.